we are focused on chest opening. And if we're opening this part of us in the front, it's helping to open us in the upper back to the thoracic part of our back as well. Let's have a couple of blocks and some sort of strap. Could be a bathrobe tie, could be any number of things, maybe a dog leash. Let's have those things, and we will start standing today. So let sort of, I think when I want to stand, I want to just lift my feet almost a little bit, and then really make contact with my foot with the floor. So I'm probably going to kind of roll heel to ball, and then just feel like I have my toes, all my toes are down. So I can feel my big toe and I can feel my little toe and maybe every toe in between, and feel the outer edge of my foot and my heel, and then feel how the inner edge wants to lift up. I happen to have pretty flat feet, so there's not a lot of lift in me, but I try to invite it. And then the energy is going to kind of come up, and I'm going to just kind of elongate my body. In Tai Chi, we talk about songing our joints, which means bringing air in between every joint. So if you can imagine bringing air into every single vertebrae, you're going to get taller. And the tallness is going to start with the core really lifting, and then the chest is really going to lift. The only thing that's not lifting is my shoulders, right? So I don't want my shoulders coming up. My shoulders are going to draw down and back as my chest comes up. So that's our kind of introduction to opening this chest, is just kind of having the sense of it lifting. All right, so let's soften your knees just a little bit, and let's take a side stretch first. So I'm going to inhale my arms up. I'm not mirroring you, and I'm going to just drop over to the right, but reach my arms and just see if you can broaden your chest as you take this little dip to the right, and then inhale up and exhale and broaden as you take a dip to the left, and inhale up. Now we're going to, so definitely soften the knees. Now I'm going to turn my shoulders and my rib cage to the right. So I'm going to twist to the right, and same thing, I want to just kind of broaden my chest inside this twist. My arms probably float down, then they'll float back up again to take me around and turn the other way and float down. So you see I'm sort of bending my knees a little bit. So let's take that four times. So it's really turning my shoulders and my ribcage and broadening my chest out to this side of my room and back up again. Let's take that one more time. This is feeling really nice to me. Beautiful. Now, let's take it into a back bend and then a forward motion. So again, I'm gonna feel tall. So I'm gonna lengthen my tailbone, aim it down, which is gonna lift my hip bones up in the front, which is really gonna engage my core front and back to really elevate me. And then my chest is really lifted, but my shoulders are relaxed, so my shoulder blades are sliding back and down. So there's a way in which the motion in the top of my back is drawing down as my chest lifts up, if that makes sense. And we're going to go into a little back bend. So for starters, place your hands on your sacrum. Again, lengthen that tailbone down, right? So stop poking up. And let's inhale, grow taller, songing your joints. And then exhale and lift your chest to the sky, look up, and we're going to come into this little back bend. And then inhale and stand up and let your arms come down. And we'll do that again with the arms hanging down, right? So we had a little support on the sacrum. Now we want to kind of just lengthen all that on our own. Nice and tall. Let's inhale taller. And then exhale, little back. And inhale up, and let's take that one more time. So super tall, and then exhale. And inhale up. Great. Now let's take our chest in a different direction, which is going flat back towards the floor. So same thing, my chest is proud, and I can think of my collarbones being really wide here. And I'm going to inhale and be taller. Again, soft little knees here. So I'm going to inhale and be taller. And then, and actually, let's add some arms. So let's inhale my arms up. Shoulders are down. Then exhale, soften the knees, and just bow flat back forward and feel just really proud in the chest, broad in the collarbone. Inhale up. Exhale, bow down. So collarbone is really wide here. Almost like your collarbone is keeping your arms apart. Inhale and exhale and bow. And inhale back up. Beautiful. You can let your arms come down. Tension out. Let's be at the front of our mat. And we will take 3 sun cells, 3 half sun cells, 3 half. Okay. So I'm going to inhale my arms up. Maybe I like a little back bend here. I'm going to exhale, forward fold, so my knees bend, my hips hinge. Everything drops, my head really drops, super relaxed. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, reverse swan dive takes me up. Exhale, hands in front of my heart. Let's go again. So inhale. Exhale, fall forward. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, fall forward. Inhale, reverse swan dive. Exhale, hands in front of my heart. Just feeling how the chest functions all through here. And exhale, hands in front of my heart. Right, beautiful. We're going to come down to the to a seat next. So inhale my arms up. So it's going to look exactly the same. Exhale, forward fold, and then just take your knees back behind you, and let's come into a seat where I know that I have my right legs in front. So I'm conscious of that. And I'm going to inhale my arms up and side. So we did this standing. We're going to do it seated. Really plant the opposite hip down as you stretch away. And then inhale up, and then exhale and turn, just as we did, and look back behind you. And inhale up. Let's take the side stretch again. And inhale up and turn that chest to the side of your room. And inhale up. One more side stretch. Feel broad across the chest. And then we'll go to this. And inhale back to center, relaxing the arms down. Let us switch which leg is in front. Inhale up. Let's side stretch over to the left. I'm not mirroring you. And inhale up, and let's take the twist, turning the chest to the side of my room. And inhale up and exhale. Feel the mobility, any differences in mobility side to side. So turning, feel how the thoracic spine, the upper back is turning me, right? And coming back to center. All right, good. So you can put your right leg in front again. We're going to do a soft little seated cat-cow type gesture as a heart opener here. So I'll turn to the side so this is clear. So I'm sitting up nice and tall. So my shoulders are right over my hips. I'm on my sits bones. And I'm going to inhale and come into a little back bend and look up, really broaden my collarbone. And then I'm going to exhale and let everything scoop in, and my collarbone kind of collapses in a little bit in the cat. And then inhale, cow-like. and exhale. So as you do this gesture, you can be feeling like you're moving your heart and inviting your heart to open and shine in this cow position. And then you can feel you kind of protecting it a little bit on the exhale, right? So see how that feels. Opening, exposing the heart in the cow portion, and being a little protected in the cow. A couple more times. And then come back to a nice tall stance, and we'll take ourselves onto all fours and do a fuller cat-cow. So my hands are underneath my shoulders. If I have trouble with wrists, I can be on fists. My knees are underneath my hips, so I'm a box. So I can feel, let's talk about the shoulder system first. So I want to really broaden that collarbone, slide those shoulder blades down my back and towards each other. So my shoulders are going back towards my hips as opposed to kind of slumping forward, right? So they're going back towards my hips. And I'm going to, this is going to deepen as I come into my cow. So as I inhale, filling my belly, dropping my belly, lifting my pelvis, and my head's going to come up, my shoulders are going to draw back towards my hip shoulder blades, really squeeze together at the top of the cow. And then as I exhale, I'm going to pull my belly button to my spine, drop my pelvis, drop my head. My shoulders are going to come forward, and my collarbone is going to shrink a little bit at the top of my cat. So let's inhale back into the cow and just feel how that collarbone broadens at the top of your cow as your shoulder blades go back down together. And then exhale into your cat. And I'm going super slow today. So if you want to go a little faster, you certainly can. We'll keep going with a few more cats and cows. Beautiful. Let's find ourselves in neutral. Let us tuck our toes. And I do want to talk about the collarbone just a little bit more. So when I'm here and I'm going to get ready for a down dog. So tuck your toes and think about your down dog. Think about how strong you want your arms to be. And that you do want your shoulder blades to start out together and back down your back in preparation for lifting up. The shoulder blade is going to tip up once you're in your dog position, which is perfectly appropriate. Still be flat. It's just going to tip up a little bit. But if I can draw your attention, sorry, I'm so broken record about this collarbone, but my collarbone doesn't particularly move, and you might have been saying that to yourself while I was talking about it, but I still can feel, if I'm consciously bringing my arm bone into the socket, I can feel that it's extended, as opposed to if I'm like this, it's shrunken, right? So that's kind of the difference I'm talking about. So broad collarbone, tucked toes. I'm going to inhale knees and then hips all the way up into my down dog. And then go ahead and pedal. And as you pedal, really settle those arm bones into their socket so you can feel broad across the chest. The chest is melting towards your thighs, but it can feel just as broad and open as it did in any of the other positions we've taken so far. And then stop pedaling and inhale, really lift your hips up and back, melt your chest towards your thighs. Your arms are on either side of your ears, and your collarbone is nice and broad. Let's inhale together here and open our mouths and exhale. Inhale. And exhale. And let's inhale our right leg up. Let's exhale and step our right foot forward, lower our left knee, and I'm lowering it right underneath my hip. And I'm going to lift up tall here, right knee stacking over my ankle, left knee under my hip. And we're going to inhale our arms up and exhale, side stretch again towards the right. Inhale up and twist towards the right once again. So I'm turning towards shoulders, rib cage, chest towards you. Inhale up, side. Inhale up, take the twist. And inhale up and side. And inhale up and let's take this twist. Inhale up, place my hands down nice and strong underneath me, broaden my collarbone, tuck my left toes, and set me back to down dog with an inhalation. Exhalation. Inhale my left leg up. Exhale, step my left foot forward, bring that right knee down, same place, right underneath my hip. Inhale, nice and tall. Exhale, side stretch towards the left. Inhale up. Exhale, take the twist. Now, I'm deliberately showing to you me from the other side. So you can see I'm talking a lot about the chest, but with this twist, what's beautiful is we're allowing the thoracic spine to come into this nice rotation, which is helpful to relaxing that area of our upper back, which can get pretty tense from sitting and devising and computering and some of the other things we do seated. My hands are down. I'm going to tuck my toe and step back again. So my down dog, inhale. And exhale. Great. Let's just bring my knees down, separate them. Toes are together. Slide me back to a child's pose. Reach my arms forward. Relax my forehead down on the mat if I can reach that far. I can build up with my hands too and breathe here. As you inhale, look up, and you just want to slide yourself forward to plunge. So my legs are out behind me, my hands are underneath my shoulders, my toes are not tucked, and I'm going to press my hands down and inhale up into cobra. So maybe I come up a little bit, maybe I come up further, hug my elbows into my body, maybe I come all the way up. So you come as high as you're comfortable, and exhale back down. We'll repeat that. So inhale, nice back bend here. Exhale down. Inhale, proud chest here. And exhale down. Gorgeous. Let's tuck our toes and we'll come back up into our down dog. So you can go through all fours, or you can go through plank, whatever you want to do to take yourself up. And inhale in your dog. And exhale. Let's inhale onto our tippy toes and exhale, walk me forward to a forward fold. You relax here, but the chest is not collapsed. So feel that. Inhale, half lift, really broaden here, shoulders, arm bones in their socket. Exhale forward. And inhale, reverse, all the way up. And exhale, hands in front of my heart. Great. Let's release everything. So, I'm kind of linking these ideas. So if you, let me lose a layer too. So our arm bones So again, if I imitate sort of desk sitting and working, that often can be kind of like this, right? It partly is that I've let my arm bone slide out of the socket. And if I just put it in the socket, it would be back in a place. I've actually, my head's dropped forward, but it'd be back in a place if I just put it in the socket. Right? So just try to do that for me. Sort of take your arm bones out of the socket, put them in the socket. Take them out, put them in the socket. One more time, take them out. Now, as you put them in the socket, just notice how broad you feel across here and proud your chest feels and elevated chest feels just by doing that arm bone thing, right? So I can specifically use my chest muscle. So now, separately, drop your chest and then lift it. Drop it and lift it. So I've got these muscles here, pectoral, major and minor, that help to lift my chest, right? So you can sort of feel that motion there. Good. And notice how, so drop your chest and then lift your chest. And notice how that kind of lifts your core too, right? It's amazing how just lifting my chest helps to lift my core too. I mean, I want to do it all, but it's amazing how that is helpful. All right. Let's come into a standing series, starting at the front of our mat. Get things out of your sight here. So let's inhale, nice and tall. When I exhale, I'm going to step my right foot back, land the heel down, bend the front knee, and open my arms for warrior two. So notice first, my feet are really solid. I can feel both edges of my feet, energy coming up my legs, energy coming up my core. Chest is proud, and my shoulders and rib cage are open to the long edge of my mat. My hips are comfortably wherever they are for me. Some people will be more here, some people will be more here. So wherever they're comfortable for me is where my hips are. But again, this thoracic spine allows me to twist and rotate and open. So I'm going to do that. Inhale, looking out my front left hand. Let's exhale, reverse my warrior. So I'm going to lift my left arm, drop my right, looking up at my left. I'm going to inhale and exhale here. I'm going to inhale my arms up, keep my bend. I'm going to come into side angle, but with open arms. So tee out your arms as you lower. You're really open to the long edge of your mat and just lower down. And if you wanted to, you could come, you could have a block here too, if that would be more comfortable to receive your hand, or you could just be reaching. So completely open here. Again, my hips are still comfortably where they are for me. Exhale here, inhale, takes me up, exhale, reverse my warrior. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, let's step forward. Shake it out and we'll transition. So inhale, nice and tall. Exhale, step my left foot back, same setup on the bottom. Tee out my arms, open my torso to the long edge of my mat. Inhale. Exhale, reverse. Inhale, arms up. Exhale with these teed arms over in side angle. This feels so broad in your chest. And collarbone, arm bones are in your sides. You can feel the edge of both. Inhale, up, exhale, reverse. And then inhale, my arms up, and exhale will take me forward. Great. So we will add on to this series a little bit. So I'm going to inhale nice and tall. Really opened in the chest here, right? And we're going to sink into chair with my arms elevated. So catching up, we're going to inhale tall. As I exhale, I'm hinging at the hip to take me into chair. And I'm going to let my arms float up. And maybe they stay shoulder height in front of me. Maybe they come up so they're on either side of my ears. So wherever it's comfortable for me. And my chair depth, again, is whatever suits me and my knees is my chair depth. Let's inhale here. And exhale. When I and I'm going to inhale again. Then when I exhale, I'm going to step into reverse warrior. So exhale, step right back and take yourself over into reverse warrior. Inhale up. Let's take ourselves into the same side, wide-armed side angle pose. Inhale back up. Exhale. Inhale back up. We're going to take ourselves into a revolved side angle. So take yourself over and you're in your side angle. Now I'm going to turn my shoulder and my rib cage all the way around. So my right arm has come down, my left arm is in the air, and I'm looking back behind me. My lower body is about the same. I'm just turning my upper body. Great. Inhale here. Exhale to come back to the side angle pose. And inhale up and over and exhale. Inhale, arms up. Let's exhale, we'll step it forward. Change the channel for a moment. Standing hip width apart. Inhale, grow taller. Exhale, sink into whatever your chair is. And inhale here. Exhale. Inhale. And exhale, and step back into your reverse warrior. Inhale, my arms up. Exhale over into my wide arm side angle. Inhale, back up. Exhale, reverse. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, over into my side angle. And then take myself around to my revolved side angle. And then inhale back and exhale up and reverse. Inhale my arms up and exhale. Take me forward. Oops. Okay. Now we're going to add on in a different direction though. Change things a little bit. So let's stand in front of our mat, hip width apart. This time for chair pose. Take your hands in Anjali Mudra, heart pose right in front of you. And inhale and grow taller. Exhale, sink into your chair, whatever depth your chair is. Inhale here. Exhale, let's twist again to the right. It's a twisty day. Inhale back to center. Exhale, twist to the left. And inhale back to center. And now when I exhale, I'm going to step my right foot back, but stay on the ball if I'm able to do that. And then inhale and lift myself all the way up and my arms in the air. And then I'm going to exhale and bow down and inhale up. And then I'm going to exhale and bow down and once again revolve, turn away. And then inhale back up. Then I'm going to put my heel down. And I'm either lined up or I'm on two railroad tracks. So whatever's comfortable for me is perfect. My front knee has stayed bent. And I'm going to take my arms around and clasp my hands sort of the normal way for me back behind me. Just clasp my hands. And really roll my shoulders back. Great, my front knee is bent. We're going to take ourselves into pyramid pose. So I'm going to inhale tall, and I'm going to exhale, bound forward with a flat back, reaching my arms up behind me, rolling my shoulders back, and I'm just going to bow as far as I can bow. So I can pretty much come down to my side, but you don't have to come this low if it doesn't suit you. And inhale, come back up. And we'll go again, exhale. And inhale. Exhale. And inhale. Great. Release your arms, relax for a moment. And then when you take your arms back, I want you to clasp the awkward way this time. So there's sort of normal way and an awkward way. Roll your shoulders back. And now we're going to come into, oh, you know what? The first thing we did was humble warrior. I named it wrong. The first thing we did was humble warrior. Now we're gonna do pyramids. So I'm gonna inhale nice and tall. When I exhale, I'm gonna straighten my front leg. As I bow, I'm just gonna go where it's comfortable for me, roll my shoulders back, lift my arms back behind me. And inhale, I rebend the knee when I come up. Exhale, bow and straighten the leg. Lift and roll back. And inhale, back up. Exhale and bow. And inhale, back up. And then you can exhale and just step forward and just relax everything. And we'll do the second side. So inhaling, nice and tall. Hands in Anjali Mudra. And exhale and sink into my chair. Inhale. Exhale, turn left. Inhale, center. Exhale, turn right. And inhale, center. Exhale, slide my left foot back, stay on the ball, and then inhale, and I'm beautifully tall. Exhale, bow forward. Inhale, up. Exhale, bow forward and take me into the revolve. And inhale, back up. Settle my back heel down. Keep the front knee bent. Take my arms back. Clasp the regular way first. Roll my shoulders back. Humble warrior, correctly named this time. Inhale, nice and tall. Exhale, bow forward. Your shoulders roll back, your arms lift up. Inhale, nice and tall. Exhale. Inhale, nice and tall. And exhale. And inhale, nice and tall. Release the arms and then reclasp the awkward way. Roll the shoulders back. Pyramid is next. Inhale, nice and tall. Exhale, my front leg straightens as I bow. And I go as low as is comfortable for me, flat back. Inhale, up, bend the knee. Exhale, bow. And inhale, up. And inhale, up, and exhale, you can step forward. Fantastic. All right, so let us come into a balance pose, and there's so many good options, but let's actually keep it simple and do tree today. So we're going to do tree today with this sense of almost like it's my chest that's holding me up. Like I often say, it's your core that's holding you up. Now let's take it, come into tree and feel how the chest and chest up and shoulders relax and arm bones in the socket. It helps to hold me up. So I do start with my hands in Anjali Mudra. I'm going to be nice and tall. Let's start with the balancing on our right leg. So my options are, I'm going to hug in and draw up. Everything's up. And I can, maybe I need a kickstand, depending on me. Maybe I can be here, placing my foot kind of, I'd want to avoid my knee, but sort of on my shin, or I can come all the way up here. So those are my options of where I want to be for tree. So shake it out and set yourself up. So drawing everything up and in. Pick your tree position of the day. This knee, left knee, does externally rotate. So it's externally rotated. Hips are shining forward, lined up with the shoulder. And breathe here and just feel how your chest is holding you up. Feel that. And if you want to reach your arms higher, you can add this challenge. And we can step out and shake out a little bit. And get ready for our second side. So balancing on the left leg. So hug everything in and up. Really lift that chest. Hands in Anjali Mudra. For starters, pick your best position for your foot. And externally rotate the right knee. Really feel the chest lifting you, floating you up towards the ceiling. When you feel secure, and if you feel secure, you can lift the arms. Whoops. Take the oops that happen. And you can step out. Great. Let us get a little bit involved with this strap. We've been kind of exploring this chest openness in different ways. So I want to just add the sensation of what information I get from this strap. So I'm going to take it behind me. So it's in my right hand behind me. My left hand is going to grab it. And what I'm curious about is sort of spreading my hand and opening my chest. Kind of like this, reaching up and back. All right, everybody's a little bit different here, but I'm curious, and you can get wider on your strap. I'm curious if you can stretch back and come up and over, keeping the chest broad as you go through this range of motion in the shoulders. So see if this works for you. And if this doesn't quite work for you, you can just kind of test a little bit, right? If you can't go all the way, just test it a little bit. Beautiful. So keep the strap somewhere still accessible. We'll come to the front of our mat and inhale. Tall arms up overhead. Exhale, everything falls down, forward fold. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, down, forward fold. And take your knees back behind you, and we'll turn around and sit down Dandasana with my legs straight out. And I do want to be on my sits bones and be as tall as I can be here. Lift my arms up, arm bones in the socket, shoulder height. And then I'm going to flex my feet, but point my fingers. And then I'm going to flex my wrist and flex and point my toes. So alternating, getting tension out of the wrists and the ankles for the work they did for us today, but alternating. All right, beautiful. So we are going to work our way towards bow pose, which is a prone chest opener. But let's take camel first. So I did a little time check. Let's take camel first. So I'm on my knees, and I can be, so my knees are basically hip width apart, right? So shoulders, hips, knees, and let's do camel first. I don't want my tailbone up, right? I want to lengthen my tailbone. So let's put my hands on my sacrum first. Be really tall in the torso, really broad in the collarbone. Let's inhale here. And then exhale, lift your chest to the sky, come into a little back bend. And then inhale back up and drop your arms down. So full camel, I go back and I catch my heels with both hands. So take full camel if it's available for you, or you can stay here if that's better for you. Inhale nice and tall, and exhale and take yourself back. A few cycles of breath inside the pose. Inhale, take yourself out. A couple of cycles of breath, just being on your knees to relax and transition. And then let's inhale again. We'll go again into camel. Exhale, take yourself back. Inhale and come out of camel. All right. So I suggest that we're going to go into bow pose. So You know what, let's have a little child's pose break. So separate your knees, put your toes together, send your hips back. Let's have a little child's pose break in between and breathe here. Beautiful. When you look up, I'm going to slide forward, and you can be on your elbows at first, but untuck your toes. You're on your elbows at first. And here, I'm not sort of like just a collapsed teenager. I'm rolling my shoulders back and really opening and lifting my chest and lifting my core. So everything's really lifted here. So this is what bow is going to feel like once you get there. So I just want you to have this feeling before you get into bow. Okay, now, so for bow pose, now you can lower yourself down. For bow pose, I'm bending both of my feet. If I need a strap, I can use a strap. If I can grab my feet, I'm grabbing my feet. Otherwise, I'm going to set it up with a strap. So if I can grab my feet, hold on to my feet, and I'm lowering down, center your head. And then what's going to happen is I'm going to inhale, and I'm going to push my feet into my hand, and everything comes up. My shoulders roll back, and my chest is super open, right? My abdominals are lifting up too. And I'm in a back bend, and I'm going to breathe here. And then you can come on down. I'll show you what I would do if I needed a strap. So I just want to get this strap behind me. So I can come up, and so the strap is helping me come up into bow. All right, and then you can come on down. That was sort of some beautiful stuff. Great. So let us just come all the way around to supine, which is the first time we've been supine today. Often we'll start practice supine, but this is the first time today. And let us have our knees bent so that my heels are underneath my knees. I can touch my Achilles with my fingertips, reach my arms long beside me. We're going to do bridge with a back support. So we want to kind of keep this whole zone we've been working with all practice alive. So I'm going to press my hands down, my forearm, my elbow, my upper arm, really open my shoulders, broaden my collarbone. And then with all that energy in the arms, I'm going to float my hips up and keep the energy in my arms to float down. So keep the energy in your arms and keep going up and down, and just notice the difference and where you feel it in your body with this extra engagement. And see if you can come high enough that you basically are lifting your chest, so your chest is chasing your chin at the top. All right, you can come on down. Go ahead and hug your knees in, just to relax everything. Rock your sacrum a little bit. So my intention today is I asked you to have 2 blocks. We're going to do supported fish for our Savasana. So that's when we'll get to it. So let's do a spinal twist in preparation for that. So if you would hug your knees in, so you can use your hands to hug your knees in, and then I'd like you to tee out your arms. Your knees do whatever they do. If they release a little bit, that's okay. Tee out your arms with your palms up. Really settle your shoulders down. Feel really broad in the chest here, and inhale. And then when you exhale, you're going to just drop your knees to the left. So your hip goes with it, but your shoulder ideally stays down. and just invite it down. And one of the things you can do is roll your head around and look out your right hand, and that will help on the right side. So roll around, look at your right hand, and we'll breathe here. And let's come back to center, look to center, everything comes back to center. Your arms can stay teed out. Hug your knees in just as much as is comfortable for you, and inhale, and then exhale, dropping those knees to the right now. So the left shoulder might want to come up, and then stretch out the left arm and look out your left hand. See if you can invite that shoulder down as much as you can, and breathe here. Come back to center. And then you can take happy baby, anything you like to take before Savasana. So any final movement you want to take. And as I described, we're going to come into what I call supported fish for Savasana. And I just want to show you what full fish looks like, just in case you're curious. So I lift my chest up by myself and come on the balance and balance on my head. So this is what full fish looks like, and my shoulders really drop back. But we're going to do that with 2 blocks instead of doing that just with our bodies. So when you're ready, and I am going to put my layer back on because I sometimes get chilly in here during Savasana. So if you lost a layer, you may want to put the layer on, and then I'll show you how we're going to organize our blocks. One is going to be placed so that it supports our, so it's kind of on our shoulder blades underneath us, right in the middle of our thoracic spine. So it's going to open our chest. So I take a block and I put it at this lowest level, centered on my mat, just down like that. So that's going to catch my upper back. Then I want something to support my head. So this might be too low. I may want it here, and depending on me and my proportions, I might want it this high. So just leave that to decide once you get there. So set that up, and then I'm going to turn around, place my hips on the ground. I can start with my knees bent, and then so I'm going to come down. So this is really catching my thoracic spine, my shoulder blades, and then I'm going to put this behind my head. As I say, I can test, do I want to be a little bit, is a little bit higher comfortable, or do I want to be a little bit lower? So find the level that suits you, do any adjusting you need to do, and just feel the openness. We call this a chest opener. We call it a heart opener too. See if your shoulders can drop back collarbone really broaden inside of here, palms up on either side of you. If your knees stay bent, you can knock your knees together in a rest pose, or you can choose to straighten your legs out. So take it wherever you take it, see how it feels in your back, the differences. And so choose what suits you. And let's come into our breath here, which would feel different if I didn't have blocks under me. So just notice how your chest, feet, and ribs expand with the inhalation and your belly with the inhalation. And notice what it feels like when the air leaves your belly and then leaves your chest. And just notice the breath out. Let's visualize our heart. So our heart is fist size, and it's actually nestled in the between the lungs, right? So, and in a lot of ways, you can feel it maybe is when you inhale, the lungs really kind of hug the heart on the inhalation. So you might feel that subtly. And then let's just kind of tune into this. So a fist is sort of globe or circle-like. So if you can sort of imagine that. And see if you can feel the energy coming out of the front of your heart. We might think of that energy the most often in life, that we're kind of shining love towards somebody from the front of our heart. Now picture the back of your heart. So it's kind of the back of your heart is, there's ribs protecting it, there's muscle protecting it, and we've got this block supporting underneath it. So feel all that support in the back of your heart. And see if you can shine the back of your heart out. You associate the color green with the heart, so you can even see what shade of green it feels like it is today. And then expand the shining, so you've got it shining in the front, shining in the back, and just expand the shining so that your heart is shining in all directions. Like it was a sun sitting in the middle of your chest. Beautiful. And we'll just have a couple of more moments of just breathing and relaxing in this supported fish savasana. Get deep in your. Wiggle your fingers and your toes. Maybe your ankles and your wrists. And then we're gonna roll off the supported fish. So roll to one side or the other so you can come off your blocks. And just move your blocks out of your way. And then go back supine so you can stretch. Really widen the arms so you can really broaden the chest here. And then we'll come on our sides together. So I'm going to roll to my side so my lower arm is going to catch my head. My shoulders are going to really relax and collapse as my top hand comes down. My knees and my feet are stacked. And my thoracic spine pretty much is curled. It's pretty kyphotic here. It's pretty much curled in to where it may or may not be when I'm kind of not focused on my desk and sinking forward at my desk. So just be relaxed here for a moment. And then as you place your hand down, see if you can bring your shoulder back and broaden the chest there already. Reach your top leg out and then really feel like my chest is lifting me up and come into a seated position, whatever's comfortable, easy seat, or your legs could be out, whatever's comfortable for you to sit for a moment. And stacking the shoulders over your hips, hands down on your knees, either palms up or palms down. So elbows relax down. And neck is long, chest is elevated, core is engaged, holding you up. Let's inhale through our nostrils. And then exhale, really sigh it out. See if your chest can get broader on the side. Inhale through your nostrils. And exhale. And inhale. And exhale. Thank you for joining me for this chest practice today. I wish for you a broad and open chest throughout the day. It's something you can keep in your mind as you go forward. Next week, we will, because I was talking about them so much today, next week we'll really focus on shoulders in our work. So thank you. I'm going to stop the recording.